Graham Platner, a Democrat running for a Senate seat in Maine, has become engulfed in a firestorm of controversy regarding some old social media posts, Reddit posts, and even a tattoo that now is confirmed to be a Nazi symbol. So we'll get to the tattoo in just a minute, but first some background on Platner if you're not familiar with him. So basically, he was born and raised in Maine, okay? He joined the Marines shortly after high school, serving tours in both Iraq and Afghanistan. Beginning in 2011, he attended George Washington University and worked as a bartender. Pretty simple life, hate the fact that he had to serve multiple tours in the Middle East for wars that were complete and utter failures, and a lot of our soldiers suffered from PTSD as a result. Platner happens to be one of them. Now, during that time, Platner would still go away for military deployments ever so often. He eventually withdrew from the university and returned to Maine because he needed PTSD treatment. Now, in 2018, Platner briefly returned to Afghanistan as a contractor for a company, a private contractor known as Constellus, which is the same as Blackwater. Blackwater had just so thoroughly destroyed its reputation for the war crimes that were committed in the Middle East that they rebranded to another name. But that same year, he quit working as a security contractor and returned to Maine to begin working as an oyster farmer, and he's been doing that ever since. Okay, so look, it's worth noting that Platner has extensively discussed both in public and in some of his leaked Reddit posts how his military service radicalized him against the military-industrial complex. So that was a pivotal experience for him. And he learned from it in a good way, right? He realized what was actually going on with some of our US foreign policy, and it opened his eyes. And I wanna just be clear, people, of course, are able to evolve and change. All sorts of people that we have talked about on the show have posted things online or on social media that we didn't like, but you give people a chance if they say that they've grown from that. Now, Platner began his campaign for Senate in August of this year. Here's an excerpt from his announcement video.
We have watched this state become essentially unlivable for working class people, and it makes me deeply angry. My name is Graham Platner, and I'm running for US Senate in Maine to defeat Susan Collins. A decade of military service going overseas, farming oysters to feed my community, diving to lend a hand to other fishermen, trying to start a family. But everywhere I've gone, it seems like the fabric of what holds us together is being ripped apart by billionaires and corrupt politicians, profiting off of destroying our environment, driving our families into poverty, and crushing the middle class. I did 4 infantry tours in the Marine Corps and the Army. I'm not afraid to name an enemy, and the enemy is the oligarchy. It's the billionaires who pay for it, and the politicians who sell us out. And yeah, that means politicians like Susan Collins. People know that the system is screwing them. They know it in their bones. Nobody I know around here can afford a house. Healthcare is a disaster. Hospitals are closing. We have watched all of that get ripped away from us, and everyone's just trying to keep it all together. Why can't we have universal healthcare like every other first world country? Why can't we take care of our veterans when they come home? Why are we funding endless wars and bombing children? Why are CEOs more powerful than unions?
Okay, this isn't our first rodeo, typical progressive political ad. We're gonna go after the billionaires, we need better healthcare, you get the picture. He's in favor of Medicare for all, universal childcare, banning private equity and hedge funds from buying homes, ending government subsidies for drug companies. Now, let's get to the controversies.
Okay, we say that, yes, you could say it's typical progressive. It's not a typical Democrat. Janet Mills, his primary opponent, is a corporate establishment governor of Maine and will do none of those things. Has never done any of those things, will never back any of those things.
She's too old.
She's 77 years old.
She's too old, this is insane. So I have no love for Mills. I don't want anyone to think that I'm like sitting here and like, oh, Platner bad, but Mills great. No, Mills sucks, and Mills is a symbol of the rot in the current Democratic establishment. I wanna be clear about that. At the same time though, I have a huge problem with, I think progressives, whether they're in the media or even progressive voters, you're not gonna be saved by a single politician. And there's like this constant search for the one savior, the Messiah, who's gonna deliver us from this terrible economic system. It doesn't work that way. You need to build people power. You need to build coalitions, an effective outside pressure campaign to actually accomplish these policies. Because one person, even if Platner, even if you fully trust him and elect him and he's in the Senate, he's not gonna be able to unilaterally do anything. Okay?
I know, but it's better than having a corporate stooge. So it's like, I mean, I don't want to give up. I want to support the candidates that are much more likely to be on our side. So he's not a corrupt, slimy, robotic politician. So, okay, so what did they do? They dug up the Oppo research.
Yeah.
So the Oppo research is, okay, he was a bad guy at some point, wrote mean things, terrible things at some point in his life. Yeah, I've been through that. So I don't care. I support him completely. But okay, let's give you the Oppo research first. So, by the way, brought to you by the crypt keeper, Chuck Schumer. So Chuck Schumer is the dirtbag who destroys any populist Democratic candidate in a primary and then goes, well, I was about to rub my hands. I know I'm not allowed to, okay? But he reports back to his corporate donors, don't worry, I destroyed the outsiders. Congratulations, Chuck. Anyway, go ahead.
So in 2013, he wrote, in today's current climate, when every whisper of a misplaced hand, he's talking about women here, every whisper of a misplaced hand brings down a feature-length film, anyone who actually thinks the military is purposefully covering up rape, they have been, to save the career of some goddamn captain, they do, is clearly both an idiot and junior enough in rank or life experience to think it matters. Another comment from that same year, how about people just take some responsibility for themselves and not get so effed up they wind up having sex with someone they don't mean to. Men and women, you make a choice to consume enough of a substance to lose your self-control. So if you don't want to be in a compromising situation, act like an adult for F's sake, which is ironic given the fact that he apparently got a Nazi symbol as a tattoo, and his excuse is that he was in the Marines and he was drunk when he did it. Under a post titled, "What is a question you have always wanted to ask someone of another race?" Here's what he wrote. Why don't black people tip? I work as a bartender and it always amazes me how solid this stereotype is. Every now and again, a black patron will leave a 15 to 20% tip, but usually it is between 0 to 5%. There's got to be a reason behind it. What is it?
So the other day I got a new mattress. My old mattress sucked. It had all these grooves, you'd fall into them, you couldn't get out. It was a disaster. So I got a Lisa mattress, love it. Finally some peace and rest. So I did their cute little mattress quiz. Even their quizzes are cute. Anyways, it turns out my favorite is a Legend Chill Hybrid. I'm not saying that that's an accurate description of my personality as well. I'm just saying. So I got it, I tried it. There we go. Love it. Now getting some peace and rest. You guys gotta check it out. Oh, plus they do really good things in the world. They actually have given away thousands of mattresses to people in need, and they help to clean our oceans. What else do you want? So this is the kind of win-win we love at TYT. Check them out. Go to lisa.com for 20% off, plus get an extra $50 off with promo code TYT. That's exclusive to our viewers. That's LEESA.com, promo code TYT for 20% off, plus an extra $50 off. Support our show and let them know that we sent you after checkout. Lisa.com, promo code TYT.
2018, he made the following comments in a socialist firearms subreddit. If people expect to fight fascism without a good semi-automatic rifle, they ought to do some reading of history, he wrote in one since deleted post. In another, he said that an armed working class is a requirement for economic justice. There's more. I mean, there's a lot, right? The biggest issue I have is the tattoo. So I want to get to that in just a minute, but before I do, thoughts, Cenk?
Yeah, I mean, so he also said that he was a communist, he was a socialist. He said disparaging things about cops, and the list goes on. Okay, so by the way, he's a communist and a Nazi. Curious. You're right to point out the irony of don't do stupid stuff while you're drunk. Oh, did a stupid thing while I was drunk. Totally right to point out
rape is
that.
Okay. Right?
No, he didn't say rape is okay. He didn't say that.
Right.
Okay, and so, but it doesn't matter because it was those comments were 12 years ago. Look, guys, this is needle in a haystack. Okay, now maybe they found a couple of needles here, but most of the posts are from the Reddit times. The only other thing that's different is the tattoo. Okay, so we're gonna explain why he got the tattoo too, or at least give his explanation. So, but whenever there's an outsider on the left or the right. Now on the right, usually they have like tons of baggage like Herschel Walker, etc. But on the left, this guy has had no issues up until now. He has been fantastic on the campaign trail. He's been open to independence and even the right? And he has brought in a populist surge in Maine. He's raised a lot of money, all grassroots against corporate donors, etc. So then the crypt keeper comes in and goes, no, the donors have to be served loyally. And this guy doesn't seem like he's gonna serve the donors. So he then convinces Janet Mills, that's of course Chuck Schumer, convinces Janet Mills, the governor, okay, you go in, we'll back you with a ton of AIPAC money and all sorts of other dirty money, defense contractors or whatever, right? Don't worry, the scumbags are behind you. But remember, when you get into the Senate, you work for the donor class, you understand? Janet Mills is like, of course, sir, of course, sir. So, and she's 77, man, Jesus Christ, man. You know what their problem is? They're running out of people who will sell their soul to the donor class. So they have to keep going to people above 70 and 80 who've been doing it their whole lives. So that's why they're doing it. And so they look for stuff that's wrong in your life. Now you're a guy who served 4 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. Guess what? You're gonna have things that are wrong in your life. Do I believe that he had PTSD? Yes. Do I believe that he's a different person today than he was when he wrote those posts? Yes, because I got eyes and ears, because he doesn't sound anything like that, right? And I have personal experience. For me, they did this, Anna, you know they did the same exact thing. Dug, couldn't find anything real, never hurt anyone, never did anything wrong, nothing against consent, nothing, right?
But you never got a Nazi tattoo and kept it on your body for like 20 years.
Okay, hold on, we're gonna get to that. So then they found something that I wrote in the 1990s, right? Was I a different person? Yes, I was a Republican, I was a conservative, I was a shock jock, I was trying to get attention, etc. right? So no, that's it, you're stained forever. All right, let's look at the Janet Mills life, okay? And all the corporate goons that she's represented her whole life. How about we look at Chuck Schumer's life, okay? Chuck Schumer is great servant of Israel. Okay, I'm not interested in goddamn Chuck Schumer and his stupid donor class. I would much rather have an authentic guy who made a bunch of dumb mistakes earlier in his life than a bunch of people I know to be corrupt. I know sell us out every single day, and I know they have no intention of passing any of the Democratic policies. Chuck Schumer has proven his whole life that he's deeply, at a bare minimum, that he's either deeply incompetent, a buffoon who couldn't pass the most popular bills in the country. Paid family leave is at 84%, buffoon. Did you pass it? No. When you had clear majorities in the House, the Senate, and you had the White House. The reality is he's not a buffoon. He's corrupt. He doesn't want to pass any of those bills. I will never vote for one of those Chuck Schumer goons, okay? So give me Graham Platner with all of his mistakes and all of his faults, and you go dig mainstream media, bunch of hacks. Schumer gives you the info, you're like, oh, I'll type it up, okay. He's a bad guy, outsider, for change, a populist, bad guy, okay? I got it, I've been through this 1,000 times. Come on, Anna, we've been through it 1,000,000 times.
Yeah, we have been through it 1,000,000 times, Cenk. Always, we put our whole support, we overlook all of the red flags, put all our support behind the progressive. He's the progressive. Okay, red flag, ignore it. Red flag, ignore it, ignore it, ignore it. He's gonna save us, he's gonna save us. Oh, are we now discussing?
I don't need him to save us. I need him to win this race rather than Susan Collins or Janet Mills, who swear that they will represent every other corporation and foreign government, but never the citizens.
That's exactly what John Fetterman ended up doing.
I know, Fetterman's a douche. Fetterman is a toxic cancer in this country, not just because he immediately switched over and now he lapsed the feet of Donald Trump. He's sitting there licking his feet and Netanyahu's, he's disgusting. But the bigger problem with Fetterman is he's doing what Anna's right. Anna's right. The problem is that toxic a-holes like Fetterman cause such cynicism that when people come by now, everybody goes, no, I don't want to vote for anybody. Because remember Fetterman, right? Fetterman, you're the worst person, man.
No, hold on.
Jesus Christ. The way you betrayed people and sold them out for Israel, congratulations. Now you got everybody questioning every candidate. Go ahead, Anna.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah.
Okay, there were red flags with Fetterman too. But everyone was so certain that what he was saying, the surface level stuff he was saying was true. I'm not saying don't vote for someone. I'm saying don't ignore the red flags. And more importantly, how does the left not see this? Maybe they don't see it because they didn't go through what I went through. But how do you ruin someone's life? How does Majority Report do 5 videos on me saying I don't like calling women birthing people? And that's worthy of full cancellation. You are irredeemable. You are a TERF. You are a transphobe. You are garbage, right? How does that happen? But suddenly we find ourselves in a situation where the very same people are defending a guy who got a freaking Nazi tattoo, and he claimed he didn't know it was a Nazi symbol when he got it. Okay, maybe I will give him that. I find it dubious, but okay, even if I took that for face value, he was drunk, he was in the Marines, he didn't know it was a Nazi symbol, he got it. Then he keeps it on his body and doesn't cover it up for 20 years?
I think that proves the opposite. But to your point, look.
And that's not cancelable, right?
No, but you're getting angry at the wrong side of it, Anna.
I'm getting angry at the exact same people. Right?
I know, but at the wrong side of it. The correct answer isn't they should also cancel Graham Platner. The correct answer is instead of being greedy douches who are like, oh, we're gonna get another left winger. We're gonna grab their audience. Yeah, I said it, Emma and Sam. Okay, oh, let's cancel them. They said something slightly wrong, right? So, okay, yeah. So you should hate them for that, not go and cancel Graham Platner to make it equal.
Listen, I don't care about my relationship or lack thereof with Emma and Sam. That doesn't matter to me at all. What matters to me though is how you actually accomplish the policies you want. And if in their minds, it's okay, we're gonna overlook all of this stuff that we would totally destroy your life over or my life over. It's okay because we wanna build power, progressive power in Congress. I would maybe believe that, except I have come to learn, and hopefully everyone else who's been paying attention has come to learn, that if you're gonna rely simply on electoralism to accomplish any of this stuff, you will be disappointed time and time again. AOC, disappointment. How is she being outflanked by Marjorie Taylor Greene on the topic of healthcare right now? It's insane. So you need to build coalitions outside of Congress, organize people to actually apply the pressure to these lawmakers to help get these policies accomplished. And that's impossible to do. It's literally impossible to do. Because if you're on the left, and God forbid, you think the phrase birthing people is degrading to women? You're gone. We're purging.
I know, but
like
Anna, you're angry at the wrong end of it.
No,
so, okay,
I'm
hold on.
angry at the right thing. I'm angry at the ineffectiveness of the left in America.
Okay, but Anna, what am I doing? So at 8 o'clock Eastern, we know, we just started this a couple of weeks ago. We're crowdsourcing the revolution. What does that mean? To end the corruption. Is it foolhardy and naive? Sure, but I'm doing the exact thing you're talking about, which is trying to bring no, but hold on, listen to what I'm saying. Coalition of left, right, middle, whatever, to let's go. Let's try to get lower drug prices. Let's try to stop the funding of Israel, and there's ceaseless genocide, etc. And it is a real coalition. And yes, Marjorie Taylor Greene joined Ro Khanna's bill. By the way, what was Ro Khanna? A Justice Democrat, a progressive in Congress. So if we had given up, there would be no Ro Khanna. So the answer isn't to get frustrated at. I mean, Ro Khanna is doing, I think, almost everything right. I agree with you that AOC is still.
He's an embarrassment.
And I wouldn't go that far, but she's half and half, right? Okay, and I wish that she fought with all her heart and might the things that matter, but they always go to culture wars. But guys, to me, the most important part, and I'm being principled here, and Anna, to your point about when you try to build a movement that gets people elected, and what happens? Well, it happened to me, and it happened to me from the left too, if you remember.
Yeah, I do remember.
So I formed Justice Democrat with Shoykat Chakrabarti, who's now running against Nancy Pelosi. You should support him, okay? And then they smeared me just like this, and so the alt-right started it, mainstream media piled on, but who finished me off? The left did, progressives did, right? And so they were like, oh, you said naughty things 28 years ago. You're a terrible, cancel him, cancel. But guys, I'm trying to create something that could get AOC elected and Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar and Ayanna Pressley. And when they did, Anna, did I get bitter? No, what did I do? I said, support the candidates anyway. And we raised $2.5 million for them. Now, do I wish they had done better? Yes, of course. And so, but at the same time, I never give up. So I come back at them again and again and again. It's not the fault of the entire left or the Democrats or whatever. And certainly, not, as you know more better than anyone, not the fault of the voters, that there's a couple of people who love to cancel people on our side. They love it, and it's usually for deeply selfish reasons. So you're right to point out the hypocrisy. Oh, I like Platner and I like this, that, and the other thing. They could have the worst things ever, like things that are halfway okay with
the literal Nazi tattoo.
Yeah, they can have all of that and they won't cancel them. Oh, but one of my competitors, ooh, they said something 1% off. Cancel them, cancel them. So guys, forget majority report, who cares? They're a bunch of nobodies. So oh, cry, tear about it, right? Oh, we're gonna target you guys. We're gonna try to smear you. I've seen all of it, guys. I've been through all of it from the left, the right, the middle. That's not the point. The point is, do not let them keep canceling us. I don't mean us as in the Young Turks, I mean all of us. The populists, the outsiders, the change agents, the progressives. And when someone on the left is canceling someone else on the left, be super wary, because they're probably doing it for deeply selfish reasons.
Cenk, I can't defend the tattoo thing. He did.
All right, let's show him the tattoo.
All right, so let me give you all the details on it. I just can't, and I won't. So he got this tattoo, are we allowed to show the imagery? I don't even know.
I don't know, man. There's so many stupid rules. I mean, so how could people judge if we don't show it to them? So show it to them.
Okay, so this is the tattoo. You're gonna see his tattoo on the left-hand side, and then the symbol is on the right-hand side. So the symbol on the right is an insignia that was used by Nazi death's head units. So literally, it's a Nazi symbol. It's called Totenkopf. And Platner's former political director, Genevieve McDonald, wrote that Graham has an anti-Semitic tattoo on his chest. He's not an idiot, he's a military history buff. Maybe he didn't know it when he got it, but he got it years ago and he should have it covered up because he knows damn well what it means. But he didn't cover it up until like 10 minutes ago. It was announced today that he's covering it up, or did cover it up. Yesterday, Jewish Insider quoted an anonymous former acquaintance of Platner who said that in 2012, Platner acknowledged the symbol's Nazi ties. Platner said, oh, this is my Totenkopf. He said it in a cutesy little way. I mean,
I don't believe it.
It's up to interpretation. We don't know how he said it.
It's an anonymous source from Jewish Insider. Get out of here. I don't believe it at all. Probably totally fabricated.
One more thing. Here's a video of Platner talking about the tattoo.
I am not a secret Nazi. Actually, if you read through my Reddit comments, I think you can pretty much figure out where I stand on Nazism,
right,
and anti-Semitism and racism in general. I would say a lifelong opponent. In 2007, I was a machine gun section leader with Kilo Company, 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines. We were on the 2-2 Mu, and it was my 3rd deployment. My previous 2 had been to Fallujah and then Ramadi, 2006. And we went ashore in Split, Croatia, myself and a few of the other machine gun squad leaders, and we got very inebriated. And we did what Marines on liberty do, and we decided to go get a tattoo. And I've also just lived my entire life like a regular person with the skull and crossbones on their chest, which by that I mean taking my shirt off, performing Miley Cyrus songs in front of my extended family, and to my sister-in-law, and just taking my shirt off at the beach.
Right, presumably going to the beach, yeah.
I mean, I went to college, I went to the gym, I did all the things, and at no point in this entire experience of my life did anybody ever once say, hey, you're a Nazi. And I can honestly say that if I was trying to hide it, I've not been doing a very good job for the past 18 years.
So it's true that his writings make clear that he's against racism, he's against Nazis. But that makes this story even more strange, because had I accidentally gotten a Nazi symbol on my body when I was drunk, and then I realized later that it's a Nazi symbol, I like literally will drop everything I'm doing. I will take time off work to do what needs to be done to either remove it through laser or cover it.
Yeah, so he did that now, he covered it, he sent it out. But Anna, look, I don't know whether to believe him or not, because he says, I've had this thing on my body for 20 years. Not one person has ever said that's a Nazi symbol. Because if they had, why would I keep taking my shirt off? Why would I keep taking pictures with my shirt off? Why would I keep those pictures up and videos up, etc., when I'm running for office? I mean, look, I'm now putting a little bit of words in his mouth and expanding on what he said. You saw some of it there in the video. And to me, that is an interesting point. And he's like, look, we had a bunch of options on the wall in Croatia of like badass tattoos. I'm a Marine, I picked a skull and bones, which is very normal for Marines. I didn't know what symbol it was. No one ever told me for all this time. The minute that I find out it is, I'm like, all right, let's cover him. I had no idea, I don't want that stuff on my body. Now, if he says that and then you see all of his past stuff, which is obviously unrestrained, right? He didn't know he was gonna run for office, he said a lot of bad things. And if in that stuff, he's like, neo-Nazis not so bad, blah, 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 or says things that are anti-Semitic, then I go, well, context clues, that makes me think maybe not. But instead, he's saying the opposite in those posts. So is he a communist or is he a Nazi?
I mean, I'm not into either one of those.
Neither am I, and my point is, I don't think he's either one of those. I think it's a hatchet job. So look, you're not wrong to be concerned. You're not wrong to raise red flags. And so am I saying he's an angel and I'm positive? I don't know the guy. And we're happy to interview him. Hopefully he'll come on, we'll talk it through, okay? And so I can't vouch for him because I didn't grow up with him and I don't know him, right? But I do know Chuck Schumer, and I know he's a bad faith actor. And I know that he's gonna lose this race like he always does. I know he serves corporate donors. And so my guess is that, hey, lo and behold, a guy who won't serve not just the corporate donors, but let's keep it real, also AIPAC. So all of a sudden there's a controversy about how he's a Nazi and how he's the worst person in the world, and no one should ever, ever, ever vote for him because he won't serve the powerful in Congress and in Washington. So look, I would recommend vote for Platner over Mills every day. 20 times a day. I know you only get to vote once. Republicans, calm down, it's a joke, okay? So look, that's my sense of it. But if it turns out you're right later, Anna, and he turns into a Fetterman, or it turns out that this was real and he was lying about it, all right, then okay, then that's on me. And look, it's the Fetterman. I said Fetterman was better than Dr. Oz. I said the Fetterman was the right way to go. So maybe I'm wrong again. And guys, we also have to acknowledge that we could be wrong, right? I know, again, there's some shows, no, 100% ideology, 100%, no one's allowed to ever go past that. Oh, unless you're someone we like, then you could do whatever you like. Anyways, I'm tired of all that crap. So I'm taking him over Mills all day long. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.